Hello dear students. So far in this chapter we have already studied monohybrid cross, that is inheritance of one gene at a time. So based on that monohybrid cross, Mendel got the phenotypic ratio 3 is to 1 and genotypic ratio 1 is to 2 is to 1. And based on the monohybrid cross only, he proposed two laws of inheritance. Can you tell me? Yes. First is law of dominance and second is law of segregation. After monohybrid cross, he performed a dihybrid cross where he studied the inheritance of two characters together, which means out of the 7 characters he was studying, randomly he selected any 2 characters and observed their inheritance in F1 generation and F2 generation. So let's study the dihybrid cross or the inheritance of 2 genes by taking one example. For example, suppose the plant taken was tall, having round seeds, which is homozygous. So the genotype will be capital T, capital T, capital R, capital R. And here, dwarf plant having wrinkled seeds. The genotype will be small t, small r, small r. Then, by the process of meiosis, only one type of gametes can be produced in both the cases. Here, capital T, capital R. Here, small t, small r. And in the F1 generation, all the organisms, all the plants produced are hybrid and they are tall, having round seeds. Then when these hybrids of F1, they are selfed, see in this case, the gametes produced can be capital T, capital R, one type, capital T, small r, small t, capital R, and small t, small r. Likewise here also. And if this is performed with the help of Punnett square, you can see we get the ratio of 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. 9 parts are tall round, 3 are tall wrinkled, 3 dwarf round and 1 part dwarf wrinkled. So this is called as the dihybrid phenotypic ratio. So now if you see the genotypic ratio, it becomes very complex. So you can see 9 combinations can be formed. It will be 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 4 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. This is called genotypic ratio. So after studying these ratios, he proposed the third law of inheritance. What was that? That law was law of independent assortment. Now let's study the law of independent assortment. So as we have already studied, based on the dihybrid cross, he got the ratio phenotypic 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1 and genotypic 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 1. Okay. So let's now study the statement of law of independent. The laws of independent assortment states that allele pairs separate independently during the formation of gametes. Therefore, traits are transmitted to offsprings independently of one another. after the statement of law of independent assortment, let's now study the test cross for dihybrid cross. You must be remembering what is test cross. Test cross is basically to find out the genotype of the F1 hybrids. In this, we cross the F1 hybrids with homozygous recessive parent. It's a type of a back cross. So let's see here. Now, the F1 hybrid will be tall with round seeds, but they will be hybrid. So here, one parent is capital T small t, capital R small r. Because it is a back cross with the homozygous recessive parent, so the genotype will be small t, small r, small r. In this case, 4 types of gametes are produced, and here only one type of gamete is produced. So if you cross these two gametes through Punnett square, we get capital T, capital R, small r, which is tall round plant. Then it is capital T, small r, small r. This one is tall wrinkled. Next is small t, capital R, small r. It is dwarf round. And next is small t, small r, small r. That is dwarf wrinkled. So, the test cross ratio for dihybrid cross is 1:1:1:1. Whereas for monohybrid cross, it is 1:1. Okay. So, with this, we have studied the dihybrid cross and the law of independent assortment. In next class, we will be studying about chromosomal theory of inheritance and some exceptions for law of independent assortment. Thank you.